Yo, what is up, my fiends, my friends, everything in between? As you can see, I have reached dual level max using a very particular deck, and you can too. And when the world qualifier second stage kicks in, you could get to the top and be your best in the regional and be a world champion with this fucking deck. Really, I really sincerely do think so. So for those of you familiar, you guys know what Cash looks like. This will be a quick little deck video with me more showing you how to play it and showing the replays in action and how it works. But this is a dedicated going second Kashteara deck. I couldn't rename it here, but I colloquially known as a Rise Heartbreaker. It's such a great board breaker type of deck. I will kind of skip through the Rise Heart cards and the cards I think are pretty standard. 3 maxi. I run 1 Ash. You can make the argument of how many Ashes you want to run. If you want to run 2, if you want to run 3, because anything with any Kashtira card and Barone makes, or excuse me, an Ash makes a Barone, including P.U.N.K. So again, don't really have to go through too much of that. But the spicy stuff is in the Vanity's Fiend. I am not under the philosophy, at least in a going second version of the deck, to use Planet Pathfinder. I really don't think it's that good of a card. I definitely don't think it should ever be run at 3. I understand 1 or 2 if you want that to be your normal summon, but I feel like a much more impactful normal summon that kind of usually just wins you the game outright is Vanity's Fiend. Whenever I have this in hand, I'm always able to bring it out. You could run 3 if you feel like you want to run 3. I used to, and I was like, sometimes drawing double is not super fun. So 2 is like the ratio I settled that for now. And you can see my previous videos as well using this deck. I got all the way to Diamond 1 actually, but then I fucking demoted, tilted all the way down, using a different deck all the way down to Diamond 5. But you can easily get to Master with this if you're not interested in being a world champion as well. And at the very least hit dual level 20. So I run 3 Humongous Kaiju. This is a pretty interesting pick, but because I'm running Sacred Swords for my draw engine because I don't want this to be a bricky deck, unlike the typical Kashtira deck. That's why this is very different. I'm maximizing my level 7 output with the exceptions of the hand traps, including Nibiru. And, Rise Heart could always turn into level 7. Even your Instant Contact. There's been many plays previously in my channel. You could watch my previous videos where that's my only play. I could bring out an Instant Contact, and then I Sacred Sword it, and I draw 2, and usually that gives me a lot of really good advantage. So I run 3 of these because it's just, we're going second deck, we're dedicated going second, we want to break those boards. You could make the same argument with running 3 evenly. I run 2 because of triple thrust. It's like an insane fucking card. Even though I run it at 3, I still never see it in my deck. I forget it's there. But hey, you could always search out any of the other normal spells that are or traps that are in here, which is literally everything in here except the quick play and the birth and the field. So, you know what I mean? You could search out any one of these cards and you're going to have a very impactful game. That's why I only run 1 imperm, but if I were to ever change any ratios around, I probably would go up to a few more. But again, we're going second, so we want those heavy, high-impact cards like Evenly, like Nibiru, like the Kaijus. And, again, going with the Sacred Sword theme of running P.U.N.K. I mean, if you're going second, chances are you're going to get a free P.U.N.K. A lot of people run 2, so run 2 monsters usually, and a board with 2 or 3 monsters. So you could just get a Kashtira card out and then a P.U.N.K., and then your opponent's in trouble because it forces your opponent to play in a very, very specific manner. Like, whenever P.U.N.K. hits the field, shit gets unfun for your opponent real quick with the mind games, and I love it. So as I hinted at before, I guess I should say, just the one Scareclaw. It's a pretty easy summon off of Theosis, and we'll get to why I'm running just a few of these in a second. But 2 Nibirus, pretty straightforward. Harpies, pretty straightforward. Also great with Thrust. Change of Heart, you're going to see with the replays, this is the MVP spell card of the deck. I mean, if you're in the mirror, you could just take any one of these cards or their extra deck cards, and it's over. Like, I don't think I've ever lost a mirror using a Change of Heart or successfully taking the monster off a Thrust. We already talked about Sacred Swords, so let's go instead of Thrust, Talent, and mix up our TTT boys. This is a good card. This one could go up more. It's really personal playstyle. I think 1 is just fine for the additional draw instead of having 3 Sacred Swords. Although I might switch it out for a Sacred Sword in the future, depending on how I feel, because Thrust will almost always be live with Max C and all the hand traps being in the game, versus Talent is specifically main phase, but it's still extremely powerful to be able to choose between a Pot of Greed, you know, the Forceful Sentry, and a Change of Heart. You can't go wrong with this card, I don't think, if you're a good player and you know how to bait out your opponent's effects. Pot of Prosby, pretty straightforward. Instant Contact, if you've seen a Kashteara list, you know what this does. Brings out our Neospoi. I purposely use the light one. You don't have to. Some people run water, you know, and do the other shit. I run light in case I ever do maybe want to put Chaos Angel back in the deck. Although that wouldn't really work. It doesn't really matter. It's just a level 7. So I only run 1 Theosis. I used to run 3 in this deck. I didn't like it because I'm not dedicated going first. I'm not shitting out Arise Heart. I'm usually taking the Arise Heart or I'm breaking it down. And Arise Heart usually isn't like my first go-to, which might sound counterintuitive. But again, I'm board breaking, not really board forming. Therefore, I don't think 3 is necessary. You could run 2 if you really, really want to. I just don't want another choke point in the deck. There's just so many choke points with Kashtira and things that you could break on. So having an over-reliance, I think, on Theosis and the field, I don't know. I just don't think are necessary. So I talked about the field. It's awesome. Run 1, but I don't think you need Planet Pathfinder in this deck. I think Birth is a really, really underrated card. I might even want to run 3 in here because I'm running so many level 7s, right? So many free normal summons and things that wouldn't be dead. And if I could revive them from the grave or the Banish Zone, this is such an insane card. It's a great tempo card. Again, enough said. Crossout Designator is amazing with Kashtira, so that's also why I run the 1 Ash, you know, in case they try to Ash me or Imperm or even evenly. It's amazing, and you could banish your own Kashtira cards or bring them out with Birth. So onto the extra deck, I mentioned our Neospoi, our Barone. I think Big Eye is pretty straightforward. Take their monster forever. Red Eye's Flare Metal is really good for closing out a game. And if you're just shy of OTKing, which happens a lot with Kashtira, especially going second, especially against Mikunto, sometimes you could get this out and you could burn him down. This is Titanic Moth is seeing a lot more play because this is like your easy Zeus one. It could attack directly. And even if it doesn't, you could burn your opponent. Let's say they max you could burn your opponent for like half their life points because it hits for 500 for each card in their hand. So if your opponent resolved the max C and they don't have anything for this Titanic Moth, you're about to burn them for a shit ton and then go into a Zeus. Dark Arm's pretty straightforward. You get to pop a couple. Shangri-La, Arise Art, Zeus. Dark Anthelian Dragon, I've been seeing more and more of this, and I think it's pretty good. It is actually a pretty neat effect to be able to beat over a monster because there's a lot of towers in the game. Who knows? You might go against Numeron and it might link into that Crusadia or anything type of towers. You just want to beat over that. It might not work in that instance with the Crusadia card, Avramax, but anyway, the 1 Nightmare Phoenix, you could make this any other link to. I'm sure Donner Dagger for Hire is better because of, you know, being able to clear your own board so you could special summon another Kashtira monster. I just have the link to for the Change of Heart plays, just so I can link off my opponent's monster and make use of that. So, without further ado, that was a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. That's what she said. Onto the gameplays. All right, so welcome back to our first replay. My opponent's playing something a little bit spicy. Mikucko going first with Power Tool Dragon. Not very spicy, more cringe, but it is what it is. I kaiju the Power Tool out right away because it's equipped with all that shit, so it couldn't be targeted. Or Ohime or whatever, Ohime to negate my guy. Here's where a good use of Sacred Sword out to get rid of something that's useless and draw into some other cards. Here I evenly, I'm like, oh great, they're gonna keep a guy alive, you know what I mean? And then I just get the, you know, win. Instead, they opt to banish one of them, and then so it automatically clears their board, which makes it hard because I have Change of Heart and Vanity. So I was like, what I thought was going to be an instant win clearly was not. So, oh man, I thought it was going to be easy peasy, you know, beat the fuck out of this Mikucko player. I'm so sick of Mikucko. I think it's such a problematic deck to have in a best of 1. And people are getting more crafty. They're realizing that the TCG strats are mixing this with other ritual support, like Dogmatica, you know, like the Power Tool Dragon, just cancerous, toxic shit that I don't think takes skill. Even Numeron takes more skill than Mikucko at this point. So I just pass it right back to them. I'm like, well, I don't think they can OTK me. They don't have Power Tool Dragon anymore, so I don't know. I think they could do a good chunk of my life with that what do you call this sword, double-edged sword, but I don't think they're gonna kill me. They're gonna halve my life, but again, like I said, I think I have another turn to live, which is fine. So let's see what I draw. Perfect. Kaiju the fuck out of that. Get that shit on my fucking face, boy. And let me steal it right back. That's my card into the Vanity's Fiend. All right, into my original plan. And here, this was a little bit of misplay. I was just curious about what my Small World lines were. I used to run Small World. You can if you want, if you feel like you don't want the 3 of the Humongous Kaiju. But as you saw, I just like banished out a Rise Heart, Humongous, or this into like another Radiant. I should have just kept the Arise Heart, because then I could have summoned it this turn and deal, you know, like another 1500 damage, essentially. So, because my opponent can't special summon, they're pretty fucked. Unless they have like a Raigeki, right? Or like a Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse. Essentially some type of spell trap out for Vanities. M-Perm's pretty common too. They're not going to be able to do anything. So count how many turns I could have put another 1500 on. That could have been, what, they would have been down 3k from now. So that would have been, yeah, 1500, 1500. Oh, man. So here we go. It's a little bit boring, but you guys got to see the finish. You got to see the finish. This is, you know, the closeout of something truly, truly beautiful. I always love it when I beat a Mikunto player. So, yep. They would have been dead by now if I summoned that Rise Heart, since I wasn't going to, you know, be able to normal. That's the one thing about this deck. That's why you can make an argument to have 3 Rise Heart, because it is nice to just have a normal summon, unconditional of anything else, just a normal summon, obviously besides Ash. So, here my opponent, damn, they literally have a set for every fucking thing. I'm getting mad rewatching this. Like, holy shit, how do you literally have all 3 maxis damn near? Or 2, I guess, on top of other things. And here I set the Ash, and then they just scoop. So they wasted my time. I probably should have paused and came back. BRB. Alright, so here's an interesting Punk board. It's not, like, completely bad because they're able to bounce this. However, it shows to my opponent's skill that they're bouncing a Kashtira card. And I think I still, you know, am chilling because I have P.U.N.K, and I could just pop their shit. I'm like, okay, and now I could Unicorn. But wow, they get me with a Ghost Ogre, so I'm like, okay, this is a little bit spicy now. It's a little spicy. Let me banish that second P.U.N.K, draw into 2 extra ones, Vanities, and evenly. I'm like, this is like okay, I guess. It's an okay board. Especially when I get Vanities and just set pass. Let's see what you could do with the Vanities, Birth, evenly. Like, what are you going to be able to do? Nothing. I don't think you could do jack shit to me. But they, I keep in mind that P.U.N.K has like a trap card that's like a negate. And here's where I misplay. I should just harpied right off the bat, because they were able to negate this guy, and they gain the life points for it. So that's a little bit annoying because now they live essentially, and it would have been free real estate. Cause I had a feeling they had imperm. That's why I was still gonna harpies at the end, so they wouldn't be able to OTK me on the rip. Pass back to their turn. But yeah, so as you can see, I clearly would have had OTK power if I would have just harpied to begin with. But yeah, I pretty much still deal with Red Eyes Flare Metal, because like, what are they going to do? They literally have 5 effects left, and they pass right back to me, signaling that they are submissive and breedable, and I win. So just to rub it in, there's the second Vanity's Fiend, and on to the next one. All right, so we're going to be able to showcase what this deck does best and win the mirror match. My opponent has no idea what I'm playing. They just think it's a regular mirror. Little do they know. Here I misplay. I should have banished their other Fenrir, because it's still going to be able to have its effect live. There's no point in me banishing the Unicorn when they already activate their effect. So they banish their own Rise Heart because they don't want me stealing that. It doesn't matter because I still have another Rise Heart. And then I make the misplay of banishing something from my hand. Mandatory effect triggers. So does Fenrir. So now I'm forced to banish that. And he banishes my Rise Heart. Still not the end of the world. Here they maxi me. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. This guy had everything, really. I only got lucky because, you know, I'm a board breaking going second deck. Well, not really lucky. It is skill. I designed the deck to do this very thing. So I should give myself a little bit more credit. But yeah, I just shy of the OTK, 2300. But I figured, you know what? Let's summon that Vanity's Fiend. That's what I was saving it in there for. Pass it back to my opponent. Let's see what you could do, buddy. So eventually I think they, oh yeah, they make the miss, or I'm like, oh, well, did you use a spell card, buddy? Let me get rid of that graveyard. Oh, did you activate a monster effect, buddy? Yeah. It was over for our opponent. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the number of this replay. My opponent thought they were cheeky because we're going against Thunder Dragon with a Chaos Angel that was summoned with a Light and a Dark. So that's why that was my instant Kaiju target there. Now I bring out the Fenrir. Now they Daruma Cannon. I'm like, that's even better. So now I'm able to bring out P.U.N.K. I probably could have just P.U.N.K'd effect and popped this since it would have been flipped face up. But here I'm bringing out the Scareclaw, Rise Hearts, whatever you call it, Scareclaw Kashtira. Here I make the other mistake. I should have just attacked with the goddamn Kashtira like I did now. We're like, oh my god, I should have just done that. And then attacked over this, etc., etc. But yeah, I was like, you know what? Plan B, let's just make a Rise Heart. I really don't do it that often, but just to be safe with whatever that face down was, let's get rid of that face down. I know that this is the Kaiju, this is the Radiant flip down. We know this is my Fenrir. So I think my opponent's pretty fucking screwed because I know for sure I'm going to get the 3 material before they do something. So here I make the other mistake. That was a 4 and a 6. Let's do and we have to banish each other with the Chaos Angel effect and my Arise Heart effect. I could have prevented that if I would have just did math that 4 plus 6 is 10. But I don't get punished too hard, fortunately for me, your protagonist, yours truly, because they do everything they can just to get this Colossus out. But it doesn't matter because I have Birth. It literally like doesn't matter. I win this. They're going to lose that singular, that one, the only singular copy of Thunder Dragon with this Fenrir. Bye, bitch. Hit it for 24. Start doing some unfair bullshit really quickly. Theosis is why, again, why I only really have the 1. Yeah, I may decide, maybe I'm good. Maybe I'm good. No me gusta. So on to the next. Yeah, my last opponent was Chin Sued, and they got rocked right in the fucking chin, man. What do you think you are, Chinzu Sungzu? Oh my god, with the glass jaw. Anyway, we got the binary code opponent over here. Unfortunately, I couldn't Nibiru him. I think I forgot. I literally just forgot. I could have, but I accidentally canceled it. So I was like, oh fuck. But it didn't matter because I have Change of Heart and a Kaiju. Thank you. I'll be taking that, buddy. Yeah, you're about to have 0 fun. It's about to get real shitty for you really, really quick because I got Birth and I got the field. That was interesting. So I get rid of your Zeus, which is great in the mirror. Whoever gets rid of the Zeus first usually has an easier time. So yeah, I'm going to go into Titanic Moth. As I mentioned in the deck list. Burn him for, okay, not too bad. Go into Zeus. Zeus effect, clear the board, and then I decide to start setting up my board with all my Kashtira stuff because I knew that was my game plan. I just wanted to clear this stuff with Zeus. So a Rise Heart, like I said, typically this isn't my go-to plan, but it's just how it worked out. It's a mirror match, so it's much easier to summon a Rise Heart out for me. Yeah, my guy, did you activate a spell? Let's get rid of that shit in your grave. Attach something. What are you gonna do? Okay, fair enough. Also, Zeus has an effect, by the way. And then when they see all those effects activated, they're like, I can't take it. GG, no Riri. Okay, so we got ourselves quite the board over here. And here's another surprise, surprise. Kashteara mirror match where this deck shines, as it always does. So, again, this is going to be a longer video, you guys. I just didn't feel like making 2 separate videos. You guys let me know how you like that in the comments. I'm just like, fuck it, I want to put all these videos together because I want to move on and start doing some more interesting decks. I do think this deck is interesting, and it's probably my most competitive one. Anyway, we're starting to steal people's cards. I misplay because guess what? That's that puts their Fenrir online. So now I'm forced to activate this effect right away. And I decided to just G-snatch or banish face down their back row because I don't want to deal with an imperm right now or anything else. So they get rid of my Zeus. They get rid of my Fenrir. I'm like, uh-oh. Okay. So they're going to start zone locking me. So yeah, I made a little mistake. Again, I just need to banish or attack with the stupid Fenrirs right away. But we're still chilling, right? Because that was all off of pretty much was that Change of Heart. So Kaiju that. I probably should have done that to begin with in hindsight. I grab another Change of Heart back. And then I Xyz again because I realized, oh, wait a second. Guess who is a soft once per turn? Oh my fucking god. So I had the privilege of being able to banish face down 2 monsters off of an Arise artifact. So it's just like, wow. Wowie wee wah. Who said that Kashtira mirrors aren't skillful? Because we all that change shit, you know, in sequence. And, ooh, by the way, there's a cherry on top, the Vanity's Fiend. So now my opponent's essentially locked out of the game. Yes, this thing's 2400 like my Vanities, but I'm not going to let him attack into me for free like that. So it just depends on what my opponent draws. Ooh, okay, okay. Just don't hit anything good. Okay. They can't win. They can't win. They can't win. That fucking thrust. God damn it, motherfucker. Oh. So it doesn't matter when I'm grabbing from the zone because he's going to TTT. It's the main phase. I have a mandatory effect. Now I have a non-targeting G-Snatch, so I have to banish my own guy face down, similar to the previous replays. And they take my vanities, so they still can't special summon, but they have to normal summon. Of course, they have Unicorn. I think we knew that. I think they searched it out. Theosis. Okay. Normally this would be bad, but they prospeed, so they cannot kill me. There's no way that they literally would have to have 16,000 damage on board just to hit the 8K, which they don't. They're going to barely hit, I think, 8,100, 68. Either way. Oh, I guess plus the 26. So, yeah, it would have been game. But they prospeed, so I live, because I'm a G. Into Zeus, into Kashmirra, which is interesting. If they're going to plan to Zeus, I don't know why they would commit this much of a board into it. And this is when I realized prep. I ashed the Kashmirra, and this is where prep actually brings out Arise. I didn't know it could bring out the Xyz monsters. I was like, oh, actually prep is pretty crazy. So here they're forced to Zeus because I have Fenrir. I'm like, okay. So what was the point bringing out all those other guys? My opponent could have played that a lot smarter because now I have the board advantage because I have the Kashtira birth. I forced him to use his thing right away, so now that's my fucking Zeus, bitch. And if they destroy any of my monsters, I get another material on it, and now the Zeus is live as well. But I don't mind building into this board because, like I said, I have all the board advantage in this game. Let me grab the Fenrir out really quick. They have a birth. That's going to trigger my birth. Get rid of 3 of their normal Kashtira birth targets. They still have a Fenrir. They still have an Ogre. They're able to banish my own Fenrir, which was interesting. I thought they would have banished Zeus. And they beat over my big guy, which makes sense. They want me stealing another monster. But guess what? Zeus has another effect, like I said. So I'm going to hold on to that Zeus effect. That's why they don't bring out... maybe they already normal, but yeah, they don't bring out the Unicorn. Here I bring out my Fenrir. They're going to banish 3 from my grave. I do not care. Banish 3 from their grave. They probably care more about that. I start zone locking them up. They're going to... Here's where I make the mistake. I didn't have to activate that Kashmirra effect. They are able to banish my fucking Kashmirra with Fenrir, and then now I'm forced to Zeus. So that was a misplay on my part. I probably could have just had a pretty easy game if I didn't do that. Like an extremely easy game because now there's a complete board wipe. So it just depends. We're in top deck mode. Ooh, wow. So I guess they must have banished the Barone. That's why they left that in attack. Attack me for BM. So they're just shy of game. They probably don't have any more spell targets. Like I got rid of all those in the grave. And here I perfectly have Dino Wrestler beat over this dude. And you know what it is, Vanity's Fiend, the sickening combo. This, oh man, smile, man. That's what I was doing after this game. It was a long, hard-fought game. This is one of the best Master Duel matches I've ever had, ever. So that's why this video is probably going to skyrocket in video length, but also stock, because this shit is priceless. So, yep, we pretty much got one turn. We know my opponent. They don't got it. It's not Yugi Moto. They don't got it. They don't got it. I clutch it out with the Vanities. GG, man. GG. And I sent him an ad, too, because that was literally like the closest, most competitive game I've ever had. So, on to the next. Okay, welcome back. We got some spicy Mikunto gameplay. You know what the drill is. Kaiju them. Theosis. Because I'm planning on OTKing them. They Ghost Reaper me, which is very spicy and interesting. I'm like, okay. Well, too bad I'm not playing your typical Kashteara deck, so I do not care. And that wasn't my gameplay to begin with. I'm not worried about what that trap is because it's probably the Mikunto trap, which is fucking useless. Also, you put my thrust online. Also, let's harpies to find out. Let's get that Scooby-Doo villain. Who was it? Oh my god, it was the butler, right? So get that shit on my fucking face. Instead of taking the Radiant right away, since I have a change of heart, I'm gonna look in their hand, shuffle back that Ohime. Oh, and then what's the last card I have in hand? The Radiant. And that is exact fucking lethal against Mikunto. Let's keep it going. F's in the chat for Mikunto. Let's keep the anti-Mikunto hype going. All right, the almighty Nibiru against fucking Dragon Link. It felt very good. However, my opponent's very lucky. They had grass, so they have all this graveyard advantage. The one single grass that they open up with. But I still timed the Nibiru pretty well because they only were able to Druid Swarm still. So we're still kind of chilling, right? My gameplay is to attack, beat over the Druid Swarm. They're going to, of course, target my Nibiru. That puts my Evenly online, so it gets rid of their Regained. And now we're cooking a little bit. That puts my Thrust online, which puts my Change of Heart online, which lets me take the token, which lets me summon Vanities, and I just pass. Because I'm like, well, that's game, right? That's just game. It's Dragon Link. Like, what the fuck are they going to be able to do, right? They're not that lucky. I'm like, okay, interesting, interesting. I mean, what do you have left in deck to do anything? Unless it's like some type of spell or something to negate. Oh, okay. Luckiest bastard alive. Forbidden dropleted me, making my climb very, very tedious, and all my games hard fought. But they're not able to close it out. They're just shy of killing me by, what is this? Yeah, 1,300. That's 20.99 more than you need. You know what I'm saying? So all I need to do is bait out their thrust, which they do. They're able to go right into my thrust. I would have lost. I literally would have lost if they didn't activate that. So here I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna Theosis. Maybe I could go for like a Zeus line or something like that. Maybe even a Rise Heart. Nah, Zeus, because I'm gonna have to send the Borderland. I can't target it, so it's gonna have to be a Zeus line. I make Titanic Moth. Very, very clutch card. I Fenrir here to force them to use their effects. I banish the Darkest Metal, beat over the Rocket Synchron, beat over that guy. Guess what? Zeus. Guess what? Zeus effect. Pass it to you, my friend. What can you do now? What can you do? Set one face down. Okay, we're in the top deck war. We're in the top deck war. I'm pretty happy with what my top deck cards are if they are able to get rid of my Zeus. However, if they get rid of my Zeus, I'm on 1,300, so I'm probably dead. So I don't necessarily need the Unicorn. If I get like a Sacred Sword, I could pitch it, draw two. So, oh man, I'm a Psychic. You know what I mean? Psychic type. I must have seen that coming. Which is fine. I'd rather take the card advantage. The Kaiju isn't necessarily useful. The crossout could be. It just depends on when I'm able to cross out. My opponent still has a non-stop onslaught of dragon cards and an advantage since they have, oh my god, fucking Dragon's Ravine. So I have to Ash that. That's why I'm somewhat happy to have Ash, but a little upset. They still have, I can't Ash the, what do you call it, Lubellion, so they're still going to be able to get this guy out, get the Lubellion out. And I was like, okay, so they're just going to get Branded Beast, right? Like, that's it? What? Befallen? Oh my god, I must have banished it. My head cannon tell me I must have banished it off of before with the Rise Heart or something else, or with regular Rise Heart. That's what I'm telling myself, because there's no way they wouldn't have put that out, so I'm just going to assume I got lucky and they got unlucky. So again, I'm not out of this game. I am actually like very much in this fucking game. I get rid of their last monster on board. I'm like, okay, well, it is still Dragon Link, so they could still top deck hella monsters. What's it going to be? What are you going to do? Pass? Pass? Oh my god, I win, and as you see, I'm drawing into all of my going second cards. This never happens when I actually want to break my opponent's board. It always happens when I'm in the grind game. It is what it is. I eventually took the Ogre out, as you guys saw on the deck list. If I'm not running preparations, if I'm not running, oh yeah, here I ban the Maxi. It doesn't even matter. I think they're just doing that to activate that because it's just game. I close it out. And here I have just small world stuff just to see what type of lines there are. Be fancy with it, but yeah, I don't run prep or the normal trap because they're kind of slow in a going second deck. So, all right, guys, thank you for getting through this far. On to the next. All right, this is the penultimate game. Trust me, this one will be worth it. I know this is a massive 10 replays, but it showcases the best use of my deck and the best skill that I try to put, and still some of the mistakes that I could use to improve on this, but I am serious. I think Kashtira is probably used wrong, and I think that there's another way of using it, especially with only one field spell, and it isn't always just a Rise Heart pass. There's a lot more that goes into it. However, in this matchup, yes, a Rise Heart pass would be very, very good. And I thought this would be a nice send-off for the tier players here, because go fuck yourself. You had a very long reign in Master Duel, so let's just tribute over. Let's snatch that, get the Vanity's Fiend. Let's clock out, boys. Let's clock out, right? They're not going to be able to do anything about this, right? Like this. Oh, okay. All right, I'm like dead, right? And here I'm like, they don't go Barone. I noticed it was a 10, but they go Sword Soul Supreme. I think they would have won this if they went Barone, because here I have a lot more playability because I have Birth. So I'm able to special summon whatever I banish off of the Rise Heart. They get rid of the field spell, and that was a mistake. They should have got rid of the Birth, I think. Yeah, I literally don't know what my opponent was smoking. They should have got rid of the Birth. It didn't really matter because I had a Sacred Sword anyway, and I was going to draw into cool shit like Theosis, because I'm a fucking G. Remember, guys, I'm the protagonist. So, Red Eyes Flare Metal, start chipping away at their life points in case they are able to climb back into this game. But I should have it between the Birth and the Fenrir effect, so as soon as they activate their Birth... Oh, also, get rid of that Unicorn, by the way. Take another 500. Oh, did you activate a spell card? Let's get rid of the other regular Kashfeara cards, so they're only left with Scareclaw. Take another 500. So they're able to beat over my Fenrir. It doesn't matter. I still have my Birth. They're going to be able to use theirs to banish stuff, but I'm going to be able to use mine to banish the rest of their cards. Pankratops, perfect, into Fenrir. Sure, you could clear my graveyard. I literally don't care, bro. Take another 500. Let's get rid of another 3 in there. Yeah, dude. Let's also just normal summon shit. Like, it's like so unbelievably Jover. Like, just banish that guy. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Target my guy who can't be destroyed. My opponent just takes 500 because they like to. Because tier players are bad and you can't change my mind. Go fuck yourself. So and with that, guys, we're on to our final one. So here, guys, my opponent makes me go first, a little bit unorthodox. So now we know we're going against probably a Mikunto scrub. And I can show you a little bit of what this deck could do going first, especially with a hand like this. They troll me. And so I don't show you. I just decide to pass. Like, they're playing Mikunto. They can't kill me, I hope. I hope they just don't have the, the Power Tool Dragon line to kill me. So, yeah. And I hope they hit 5 summons. I'm like, interesting. They hit me for 2K. Oh my god. Oh my god, he's doing the Zeus line. Zeus is exactly summon numero 5, motherfucker. So, puts my nib online. I'm like, that's fine by me, dude. Totally fine. They bounce my nib back to my hand. Okay, I'm chilling with this too. I'm a Kashtira player, so I totally don't mind that. And you kind of did me a favor because they have no... They do know I have Unicorn, and they do know I'm playing Kashtira because they saw me Prosby. So that was a big mistake on my opponent's part, unless it just needed to do that. And they got lucky I didn't draw into evenly because that would have just fucked their entire world up. I was like, please, evenly. Off the top. Or vanities. So, although vanities wouldn't matter too much, they already have 3 Mikunto cards. So I'm like, I got to figure out, I just have to Zeus clear. I literally have to Zeus clear them. And I have to do everything in my power. I know that's going to be the Mikunto trap to try to stop me. So I'm going to try to bait out some effects. We're going to battle phase. Yep, here we go. They negate, or they steal my Kashtira, so they're able to negate stuff. I don't rip stuff from the extra. Here, I made a mistake. I don't know why I couldn't banish something. Maybe they just all were untargetable. Maybe I don't know why I couldn't banish. You guys let me know in the comments. I'm too bad. I don't feel like reading cards. I don't want to give Mikunto players the respect. Because guess what? I have Zeus, and as soon as they go into battle phase, I'm going to hit him with that Zeus. I can't let him kill me, right? That was my game plan all along. And I figured I'm still in this. I still have a max C, so who knows if they start special summoning stuff like they do. I'm able to get a little bit more card advantage here. And if they keep going crazy with it, I do have Nibiru. And I get 2 Kaijus and a Birth. I'm like, yeah, I think I just win. I'm pretty sure I win. They shuffle back the Unicorn, which is fine. I still have a bunch of... So I have a Fenrir and another Unicorn in there anyway. And I draw into my second Fenrir. So I Kaiju them right away. And here's the interesting things. Again, Zeus has a secret effect. So I take the 24. It's well worth it. I'm able to Zeus, clear the rest of his board, hit him for 3K finally direct. And now I'm able to play the game. I pay the 1K for the Neos. It's not even close, bro. It's not even close. 300, man, you don't need those life points. You know what I'm saying? And I go hard into a Rise Heart because I just want to be able to banish anything that they try to attack into, or that they just try to summon. I just banish that right away. We're not doing this, and it's all up to what they have left in hand. Also, I birth the rest and get rid of the rest of their equips. Okay, drum roll. Brrr, draw. Perfectly. His first effect to set off the game and make me mad and pass a turn is a card that he's going to die on. So even though my opponent was respectful and attacked into to let him know that they were submissive and breedable, I I opt to show my dominance still, because I am a sadistic bastard and I hate Mikunto, and I will torture you like this. Let this be a lesson to any motherfucking Mikunto player out there. This is what's gonna happen to you. This is what's gonna happen to you. So, thank you guys so much. This is the longest video I think I ever put out, and I could always go back and post and break this up into two. If you guys let me know in the comment section, you know, if this is too fucking boring, please let me know. Hopefully this deck list would be interesting. And like, comment, subscribe, stay fiending, motherfuckers.